Welcome. My name is Norma Gentili, and you're listening to Compassionate Transformation, releasing what wounds and loving what remains. And I believe that a big piece of what's been happening in the last few decades, and that will continue, is that we are recognizing that we each have the ability to see psychically what others want us to see. And then we have the ability to remove whatever it is that they want us to see, and see with our own intuition, our own truth. What is that quality that your soul wants for your body to experience right now? Find a place where you can hear me. Lie down, close your eyes, really relax. Just be undisturbed for about an hour, and you may want a few minutes afterwards just for integration. And for those of you that are interested, this is my 67th meditation that I've offered. They're all available as podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, I would love it if those of you who feel like you're getting something from this would consider donating back to me. Just go ahead and email however you email money around to office@healingchants.com. One of the things I'm very aware of right now is something called gaslighting. Now, that's a term that's been thrown around for a number of years, almost a decade now. And it's not fully understood from what I'm hearing from people. It's really a way of blinding us to our own sense of what's going on, our own intuition, and forcing a picture or an image or a symbol or a physical sensation into our space to convince us of what the person or people talking to us want us to believe is true. This has a lot of very important pieces to it that have to do with our own ability to feel and find wholeness within ourselves, and feel solid enough within ourselves and whole enough within ourselves that we can also feel that which is wounding us and that which may be self-inflicted as wounds that we've learned to inflict upon ourselves. And it also keeps us from fully embracing who we are. And I think that's such a pivotal piece right now in the world, is not going along with what other people are saying, but really finding the inner truth and then finding the tribe or the community that reflects most of your inner truth. So what I'd like to do to start now is just create sacred space. For those of you that have worked with me privately, you know what we're going to do. And for those of you that are new to the process, just follow along. I'll do it all out loud. And at the end of the meditation, we're going to go ahead and release the sacred space. And the reason I'm doing this is because there are guides, angels, beings, and systems to move energies. We don't have to take them on and heal them and process them all ourselves. We are only responsible for what is truly our energetic process and what our soul wants for our body to experience in this lifetime. That's all we're responsible for. And this is a way, by setting up the grids, as I call them, to begin to eliminate that which does not serve us and that which we do not need. So very gently, just close your eyes and just let yourself find the ceiling, the floor, the walls of the room that you're in right now. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Some people like to find where the walls meet, where the walls and floor meet. Just identify and define the space you're in. This helps the nature spirits know that you're about to ask them for something. This is really about just letting us settle into a space, letting our body feel safe. So in the room that you're in, just welcome those nature spirits that vibrate at what they themselves consider to be their level of unconditional love to step forward. Just letting those nature spirits of the room you're in right now, those again that vibrate at what they consider to be their level of unconditional love to step forward. Not what you think, but what they think. Let yourself learn something new. Then the same in the land directly beneath the footprint of the room. Nature spirits, again, that vibrate at what they themselves consider to be their level of unconditional love, just welcoming them to step forward. And then that pure energy of nature. This is a grandmother energy. This is an energy that is equivalent to forest bathing, but even deeper, even richer. This is what the nature spirits refer to as grandmother. That pure energy of nature imbues life into every single thing that's in form. Letting it combine or mix with the nature spirits that have stepped forward at unconditional love in the room and the land beneath. And they're going to form a big sphere all around the space that you are in right now. Letting that sphere also reflect what nature defines as unconditional love. And sometimes you'll feel an expansion or sort of a popping out. And that's just those energies doing their thing. A little tiny bit of your energy is involved in creating and maintaining the sphere. So that's why we're going to be releasing it at the end of our session today, so that there's no additional drag on you. It's also important because we do all sorts of things in the rooms that we're in. And while we're creating sacred space in this particular room now, we may very well use it for other things at another point in time. So it's important to honor when we enter into sacred space and then as we leave sacred space. Secondarily, for today, we're going to welcome that aspect of Archangel Michael present, supporting, and working with you. This aspect of Archangel Michael is slightly different for each person, and it can change from day to day to day. I use Archangel Michael just because I grew up in a Christian tradition, but this is an archetypal energy that I find in pretty much all the cultures that I've interacted with thus far. Archangel Michael is also known in sacred geometry as an octahedron. So that is a four-sided pyramid pointing up, joined with a four-sided pyramid pointing down. And the bases meet. So it has 6 points and 8 sides. Octahedron for the 8 faces, or 8 sides. As we invoke Archangel Michael, just that aspect of Michael connecting with you right now, here today, let's just welcome Michael to be present in third dimension, just stepping forward a little bit more into your awareness. You might see something, you might feel something, you might get nothing at all. That's okay. Doesn't mean it isn't happening, it just means your brain hasn't figured out how to let you know that something's happening. So just allowing Archangel Michael to be present in third dimension, and then just letting Michael drop down into second dimension and first dimension. So it's as if that lower pyramid just pulls or tugs a little bit on the floor of the room. So we go down first, letting Michael's energies become more pungent, more tangible to us, become more present in our awareness down in second and first dimension. Michael there then just gently goes up through the more familiar heavenly dimensions. And we welcome Michael to anchor outside of our reality, outside of what we as humans and as creator beings have made here. And we've made a world based on polarity, even a universe based on polarity. Just letting Michael move beyond that aspect of polarity that we are so accustomed to and anchor outside. In this way, it's like there's an energetic tube that forms, and other energies can simply move into that tube to go wherever they need to go to. There's no right or wrong, and we don't have to do anything. One of the biggest issues with healing is trying to fix energies that are not really ours. We feel them, we interact with them, we have emotions because of them, we have thoughts because of them. But the golden rule I go by is 3. If I have the same thought once, twice, third time I notice it, or at least I hope I'm noticing it, and I simply stop and I ask if that thought is really my thought. And what I'm doing ultimately is asking the guides, the angels that are relating to that thought, if they're really in tune with me. So I'm asking the thought because that's what I'm noticing, if it's really in tune with me. Is it really mine right here, right now? And usually what happens is it just dissipates. Same thing for big emotions. If I'm sensing that I'm having a larger emotional response to something, then what makes sense? Yes, could be a button, could be something I need to clear. Absolutely. My first question though is, wait, is it all mine? Is this mine? Is it all mine? Right here, right now, is this really all my emotion? And in that way, again, I'm releasing guides, angels, energies that are causing that emotion to happen. And I'm letting them know by asking the question that I recognize they're probably not in tune with me. Or at least not all of them are necessarily in tune with me right here, right now. In this way, then, I get something that feels overwhelming emotionally down to something that is bite-sized. Because it's really just the piece of the emotional puzzle that my soul is trying to draw my attention to by stacking on other people's emotions or general emotions from the world. I can't miss it. Whereas something smaller, I might have missed. So it's a service that we have to attract to ourselves sometimes these energies that really aren't ours. So there's no reason to be mad at noticing that you have something attached to you that isn't yours. It's doing a service. It's pointing out something that you need to pay attention to, and it has enlarged it, engorged it, and now you can bring it down to something that's bite-sized and deal with what is your piece to actually deal with your center of that issue. So this is coming up today because it's a huge piece of what's happening in the world right now. Even if you attempt to avoid news, we are still all bathing in the energies of what's happening around the world. In the past, we here in the United States would not have known about what was going on in other countries, about disasters, but we have pretty much immediate access to all of the drama around the world. And while you may not watch it, or you may have care with what you do, every time someone interacts with it, it's like they're putting a little bit of their own energy into the drama. And the fire of the drama expands. And people don't mean to. People often have a sense of prayer towards this. And as I wrote about in my article, how we pray matters. When we pray with a sense of trying to quelch something, stop violence, stop something from happening, our own energy goes onto the fire, sort of like wet newspaper. But just like wet newspaper, if it sits on that fire, it will dry out and become part of the fire, and then the fire simply increases. We may not want to believe that, because most of us have been taught that that's the way to meditate, to pray, to offer healing, is to send energy, to send something that we think someone needs. But just like in invoking sacred space, I welcome the nature spirits to step forward at their level of unconditional love. I did not tell them. I asked them to step forward at their level. So too, prayer, especially around dramas and violence, is most effective when we ask, what does this situation want? What is its next evolutionary step? What do the souls involved in this situation want? Now, we may assume that everybody wants peace, but ultimately, getting to that point of deep stillness and complete trust can't happen without truly unraveling all the different reasons for the drama and the violence. And just like attracting other energies makes our own personal issue expand to the point we can see it, so too with these dramas going on in the world, the expansion of that energy by having so much attention on it can potentially serve to bring out all those little things at the center that really need to be seen, heard, understood. So in praying for peace or praying for resolution, one of the primary questions can be, what does the soul involved want? How does the soul or souls, how do they want to take the next step? And sometimes you get a sense of helping with that next step, and other times you just get a sense of, oh, I just need to pay attention, because as each of us deals with our own emotional turbulence, our own life issues, that resonates out to others in the world. Not everybody's listening, but a few people are. And while it's very difficult to sit and just witness pain, that is one of those tenets of enlightenment that Buddhism speaks of, is not taking away another's pain, because it's a learning process. And I know I've watched it myself when I was much younger as a healer. Somehow feeling like it was possible to mask or put a band-aid on pain. And all that happened is that person would create more drama in their life. Because whatever it was that their soul really wanted them to do, they needed to have that pointy stick to force them to do it. There's a wonderful story in the tales of Hildegard's life. Hildegard was a saint whose music I use a lot. And she lived almost 1,000 years ago. She writes, and others also wrote, that in her early 40s she became bedridden. And she, at that point in time in medieval days, 42 was pretty good ripe old age, you know? So she knew, though, on the inside she was hearing this push from spirit to explain, to write down, to share her own insights. being a Catholic nun, she was very restricted. And long story short, she received the permission from the external world she felt she needed to get. And as she received that permission from the external world, she began to write, and she began to feel much better and regain her health and strength. And she continued on until age 81, leading 3 different monasteries and riding by horseback and boat between the 3 monasteries in her 70s. So sharing what it is that Spirit is nudging you to share is also a big piece of this. And letting that sharing be as clear as possible is part of releasing our own issues. I'm very aware of starting with this sense of what I called gaslighting. Because in order to move forward clearly with our issues, whether we're clearing our issues or whether we're navigating the minefield of other people's issues, we really need to have a good compass. And that compass is actually 3-pronged in the human body. It is 6th chakra or pituitary gland, heart, and then navel or gut. Everybody has a slightly different wiring and even placement. So I invite you as we do these meditations to simply find where it feels right for you. And when you feel something, just ask if it's all really yours. When the 6th chakra is clogged, it tends to feel like loopy thoughts, a lot of chatter in the head, and an inability to think clearly. You can sort of go from A to B, but you can't go A, B, C, D. So you can't see a full picture or get a sense of spaciousness and options. The 6th chakra is where we're going to be starting to work. And like I said, it's pretty much forehead, but the back side of the 6th chakra is at that soft space right where your head and neck meet. It's been referred to in other systems as the mouth of God. For me, I see people's guides and angels connecting there, and I see other people's guides and angels connecting there. Not always because they're getting pushed in, but because we're hearing something, seeing something, noticing something that doesn't make fully a lot of sense to us. And so our own energy system opens and invites someone else's guides or angels to enter into the backside of the throat chakra, backside of 6th chakra, right where that soft space is, and at the curve of the neck in the back for the 5th chakra. And as they enter in, we get an aha. We think, let's say you've met someone on the street, an old friend who said, oh yeah, everything's great. And you're looking and you're going, no, it's not. You might ask the guides and angels to come in and tell you what's going on. Can I help this person? Can I offer something? The issue being that oftentimes we walk away from the conversation. We don't think to release the guides and angels back there. Over time, that can accumulate. And when there's an accumulation, we become less sensitive to accumulating even more guides and angels. So while most people will work on the front side of the chakras, very few people work on the back. One piece of homework I can suggest is working on the back side. For right now, I'm just aware of that 6th chakra in front and at back. And if you can find that space behind your head, behind your neck, just find that space and allow that space to gently release all those guides and angels that were of so much service in the past. That they belong in the past. They can go through Archangel Michael to go home. And they can simply release. You may feel a tugging in your head or throat, and that simply means there's a little bit more stickiness there. It's okay to let go of them. All you're going to do is make more space, more elbow room for those guides, those angels that are perfectly in tune with you right now. You're not going to release anything that you need. Your soul will make sure of that. So just gently release behind the head, behind the neck, everything that's ready to be released. Just welcoming that spaciousness to reflect your soul, your body right now. And we're just going to drop down into the heart space and clear the space behind the heart chakra. For today, just find that space that you feel reflects your heart chakra in your physical body, and then just step back about 8 inches behind your physical body. And this is where a lot of our own spiritual energies connect to us, higher self, for example. So right there, we're just going to thank and release all those energies that may have accumulated over time. Again, those energies that may reflect our past, but don't reflect our present, don't reflect where we're going to now. Very gently, just allowing that space behind the heart to release and relax. And just letting it be open. And just letting it be available for your higher self, your guardian angel, whatever you think of as that guiding force in your life that matches your soul's energy. And then just dropping down again into the navel. Finding that space at the navel and then just traveling inside. The very core of the navel chakra is deep inside your body, right next to, sometimes inside of the spinal column. The back side of the navel chakra exits out that low back area. And it's often connected to the kidneys, which are just above there. And so we're just going to honor the kidneys at the same time and release all those guides, those angels from the back side of kidneys, back side of the kidney chakras. Releasing all those guides and angels that are no longer in tune with your female, male, or as you define it, body. Just releasing out of the kidneys everything that your body is ready to release, everything your soul is ready to release right now, letting everything from another time period go to that time period. It is very, very common to find pushy energies here, pushy guides and angels from other people that think we're not doing something right or doing the right thing or not doing it fast enough. So I honor each person has their own cycle of discernment, their own cycle of manifestation and movement. Only you know your timing. So we thank and release any guides and angels from other people. Just allowing that space behind your kidneys, behind your low back to reflect who you are. Just looking at that navel chakra that is you and just asking, how does your soul right now want to step through your navel chakra? There's no right or wrong. There's just an honoring of a tuning that can take place. A tuning that can take place at the navel chakra that can reflect how your soul and your body together want to embrace each other. And that tuning allows your entire body to be much more physically available to spirit. So often as humans we have learned to guard and safeguard ourselves. And especially in Western culture, anything below the heart seems to be off limits. So it's incredibly important to honor that all of the chakras, every single chakra, including your second chakra, your first chakra, and your grounding, and all your feet chakras, they are all bringing you spiritual information at all times. Listening requires being quiet, being still, and it also requires just allowing that which is not you to arise into your consciousness so you can release it. Issues in the low body are so often very fundamental. When we are in our mother's womb and in that first 9 months or year of life, issues that come up for us, experiences we have, whether it's from the space around us, just being bathed in the psychic energies of the family or the circumstance in which our physical body is present, or whether it's the placenta bringing us hormones from our mother who's having emotional issues or other things going on. All of these things we cannot process. And so our experience is usually saved as little energy packets inside of the major muscles of the body. It can be saved in other ways too, but for right now, addressing the major muscles of the body. So the perineum, which is a series of sheath muscle that basically keeps our body together. That's our legs come in and all the organs not fall out. As well as the diaphragm, which drops down as we take a deep breath and then contracts in and up as we exhale. These are the main two muscles. And I found that working with both of these and just being aware of the emotional energy packets that we might hold relating to grief can help tremendously in terms of releasing, let's call it stubbornness, and inability to patiently listen to others. And being able to gently receive that which is around us without judgment also is part of our body being able to tell us honestly what is going around within our sphere. What is happening in our life, what is happening right here, right now, in this moment, as well as what might be happening down the road. The more we can feel this sense of safety, especially around the navel, the easier it is for us to let our guard down, to let go of some of that stubbornness, and to listen more fully when other people share their experiences. So just feeling into that sense around your navel and the space behind the navel, and just gently releasing whatever is ready to be released. And that naturally then flows into awareness of the gut region of the second chakra. And that second chakra really reflects the comfort, the ease, the flow that your soul wants for your body to experience now in life. Where is that sense of comfort, ease, flow that your body is meant to experience? Your soul wants for your body to move as effortlessly as possible through life. How would that smooth flow feel in your body right now? There's nothing more to do, so if ideas come up that you have to do something, just ask if that's really yours. Is that your thought? So often when we go very deep, we start to run into old issues. But we also run into issues that have been exaggerated in magnitude by other people's worry and concern. So just feel that sense there at your navel. And just ask, what is that quality that your soul wants for your body to experience right now? How much ease, how much flow? What's that quality your body and soul together want to create and generate for you to have available now at your navel? Within each chakra of our body, there is the potential for guides and angels and spiritual support staff to connect with us. Whether it's the multitude of chakras on the bottom of the feet, or it's the better known chakras in the body. Each organ has a series of chakras. Each cell has a chakra. Chakra is simply meaning energy in, energy out. Everything in form has a flow of energy that supports it, and a flow of outbound energy that it offers to the world. And so, with a greater clarity, in our system, we can feel the spaciousness that happens and the stillness, and that quietness that happens when our energies are the primary energies within and all around us. In our world nowadays, we often lose track of what we really feel like. And as a result, we look externally to find balance. And when what we're looking at externally is out of balance, then we naturally adjust. And we say, oh, but this, meaning to one side, is perfectly upright because what I'm looking at in front of me is leaning. Therefore, it must be upright because things are always upright. And when someone tells us, for example, that no, the sky is green, not blue, okay, that's something that we know. But at some point when it's repeated over and over and over, we say, well, blue and green are very close. So it could very be possible that maybe there is more yellow in the sky than what I'm seeing. Maybe that yellow really is mixing with blue, and maybe the sky really is green. And I just don't know it because I'm the only one that can't see that it's green. So I'll just say, yes, the sky is green. And eventually you just either believe it or you realize that saying, no, the sky is blue is detrimental to your physical health. So you don't want to be kicked out of your tribe or your community. By finding that space inside your body that is truly you and your energies, you begin to recognize those moments where you've called the sky green in order to get along, in order to survive, in order to have a happier life. And I believe that a big piece of what's been happening in the last few decades, and that will continue, is that we are recognizing that we each have the ability to see psychically what others want us to see. And then we have the ability to remove whatever it is that they want us to see, and see with our own intuition, our own truth. The sixth chakra or third eye, the heart, the navel chakra, receive images and pictures from people, from television shows, from everything all around us. Just, it's there. We are telepathic all the way through every chakra of the body, but I'm just going to talk about these three right now. When we experience someone, something, some force wanting us to believe something, it's easy enough to imagine that there's an image or an energy packet that's sent to our heart, to our navel, to our sixth chakra. Depending on our wiring, we interpret it as a physical sensation, or we might interpret it as a picture, literally. So the sky is green. We see a picture in our mind's eye of a green sky. We might feel in our heart an attempt to feel warmth towards, or acceptance of, or love for a green sky. In our navel chakra, we would override perhaps the urgings of our navel saying, no, green sky means tornado if you're in the Midwest. Very bad. So at the navel chakra, that green sky energy or image might turn into a sense of overriding our own sense of safety and well-being and saying, no, it's fine. We're being told by this external energy that green sky is fine, that that's normal. So we begin to override our own intuition, our own body intuition in particular, what is healthy and what is unhealthy. And what makes this truly gaslighting when this is happening and truly difficult to unwind is that it's not just packets of energy coming at us, but there's also packets of energy that come from behind. And if you've ever put IKEA furniture together, you know that there's this one place where there's a screw that goes in and then you tighten it and it brings the pieces together. This is what's happening in the backside. There are guides, angels, I'm going to say of lower caliber. They have very intentional, short, precise jobs and tasks to do. They come in and they literally pull that piece that's in the front closer. As this piece approaches from the front and you go, I don't know about a green sky. Well, all of a sudden, the guides, the angels, again, low level, attach on, and they'll just pull it in really tight. So literally you get clogs on the back side of your chakras and this energy in front, and it becomes pretty impossible to really see with your own intuition clearly what to do. And then you start listening to everybody else and getting more lost. Or the gaslighter wins. And this usually happens over time, not usually just once, but multiple times. And you may have a program of being manipulated, somewhat not being told the full truth by your family or parents, especially as children. So you may already have some programming where you learned for your own benefit not to listen to your navel chakra that was saying, that's not right. That's not true. And it just keeps flowing on that same programming pattern of thinking that which is external knows better than that which is internal. Clearing out these larger packets allows you to find the small pieces that you can address yourself, and things become quieter and clearer. So for gaslighting, just notice that space behind your body, especially behind your throat, behind your head, low down, that soft space right where head and neck meet. And as you release, and just ask, what if this is truly in tune now with your body, your soul legally incarnating, and just releasing what's no longer in tune? That allows some of these lower level guides and angels to release, and it allows what's been blocking your vision in front to also release out. So what is your next step? What is useful now for you to know? Welcoming all those energies that recognize they're no longer in tune with the physical body they are connected to, just letting them move through Archangel Michael to go home. Letting them find their way to their next place where they can evolve and grow and be of service. Just because it doesn't fit us now doesn't mean it can't be of service at some point in time, somewhere, somehow. Thank you, releasing all those energies that are ready to be released now. And just as we began with sacred space, we close with sacred space. Welcoming that aspect of Archangel Michael that has stepped forward to gently release. Just knowing all these energies have seen Michael, so if anything hasn't quite released yet, it's okay, it's seen Michael. As you continue to ask, is it really mine? Is it really my soul? Is it really my body? Just be open to hearing what is your portion of it. And it will continue to release through Archangel Michael. And just gently releasing Michael out of the upper dimensions and lower dimensions. Releasing Michael. Letting this aspect of Archangel Michael step back into relationship with each person. Just stepping back into relationship with you in whatever way is appropriate. You may have changed. Your connection to Archangel Michael may have even changed a little bit in the course of this meditation. And just thanking and releasing Archangel Michael from the big magnified conscious connection now. Thanking and releasing as well that pure energy of nature that's been holding the sphere, letting that pure energy of nature gently cleanse and clear any last bits of energies as it releases from holding the sphere, and as we release that pure energy of nature from our conscious magnified connection. Welcoming as well that nature spirits of the room that have stepped forward at their level of unconditional love, letting them cleanse and clear anything from the meditation that they can help to escort homeward within themselves, within the room, the sphere, or your body. Any last little bits of cleanup there. Thanking and releasing them from holding the sphere, releasing our conscious connection to them now. Thanking them so much for their service today. Same for the land beneath, those nature spirits. Just welcoming them to gently cleanse and clear anything in the land beneath. Those nature spirits vibrating at their level of unconditional love in the land beneath that have been holding the sphere. Thanking them for their service. Welcoming them to cleanse and clear anything within themselves from the meditation. Welcoming them to gently release anything from the land beneath from the meditation. They can help to cleanse and clear anything from the lower portion of the sphere all around the room that they can help to cleanse and clear. Thanking and releasing them from holding the sphere, releasing the conscious magnified connection to them. Honoring that each person changes in their own way, in their own time. The soul of each of us has its own journey. That journey may shift and change as possibilities change in our external reality, in our external world. It is up to our soul to determine what is next. Our next step is based on the agreement between our physical body, our form, and that portion of our soul that embraces our physical body, our form right now. So your next step is truly yours to make. Your next step is based on seeing in your way the equivalent of a blue sky. My blessings to each and everyone who has been present today. And I welcome feedback, office@healingchants.com. Until next time, namaste.